Welcome to famous chess battles of history. And as you can see in front of you, we have Donald Trump 500 ELO versus Napoleon Bonaparte 350 ELO. Now, how is this happening? Napoleon is long gone, and that is true, but AI exists. So I asked ChatGPT to generate me a game of chess as if these two individuals were to play each other. And here's what happened. It starts with F4, D5, G4, and your eyes do not deceive you. Move 2 and Trump is basically dead lost. Now, this pawn is straight up hanging. Best move is to take it. And Napoleon opts for second best move, E5. Now, did he know that this was second best move and he was threatening something sneaky? I don't know. I think he was probably just trying to be aggressive, which is what ChatGPT generated, because also, if you take, you just legitimately get mated. Amazingly, that did not happen in the game. To be honest, I doubt Trump saw the fact that he could take this pawn, and instead, he probably pre-moved H4. Yeah, kind of diabolical and hilarious. And now EF is on the board and Trump plays another pawn push, D4. This one's pretty good because now this is scoped and Napoleon takes the pawn on G4. And in turn, Trump takes the pawn on F4. And I want you to look at this position. Mind you, this is literally move 5. Next, Napoleon says bishops should develop before knights and plays bishop E7. Trump says no, stupid, knights move first and plays knight C3. This is a huge problem because of bishop takes H4, which happens, and Trump just takes with the rook. Incredible. Queen takes with check and king D2. Mind you, this is now move 8. Look at this position. Next is queen f6 and Trump is in a ton of trouble. This pawn is now hanging and listen, Napoleon might be the lower elo player, but he is absolutely dominating right now. Trump is deep fried and I gotta give credit where credit is due. Trump is pretty smart and he wants to defend this pawn, so he does that. And wait, why is this an inaccuracy? No, this should be a brilliant move. That's better. Yeah, Trump is very smart. Yeah, so he straight up hangs the queen and Napoleon is very smart himself. So he says, now, development is important. Knight c6. And in turn, Trump is a genius and he takes the bishop. Now it's time for a tactical exercise. I want you to pause the video and see what Napoleon is threatening here. Yeah, you might want to pause for a while because it's going to take a while to find it. You might never find it. Knight takes d4 because I don't know. Pawn takes and then queen takes d4 check. A genius move, but not actually. Now the bishop develops with d3 and knight f6 developing his knight and queen takes g7. This is actually a tactical exercise. You can pause the video here and try to find the continuation. So there's actually two winning moves. One of them is stunning and the other is fairly obvious, but they both win the game. The stunning move is queen takes bishop with check. Keep in mind, this king can move to 3 different spaces. Also here, kidding. Doesn't matter where this king moves. Any move is followed by rook g8. And you'll notice that this queen is just sadly trapped. That was not played in the game. Instead, now credit to Napoleon because he found, oh, there we go, knight e4 check with a discovery hitting the queen with the check, and then Trump took with the knight and the queen falls. And once again, Trump is in a ton of trouble here and he's absolutely cooked. This knight is hanging, so he opts to move it, but the pawn on b2 falls and out of nowhere, rook e1 check. And black is obviously crushing here. Now, if you're black, you move over here. What you do not want to do is move to the cramped side of the board and go over here. Now, this is a very bad mistake, and I say cramped because of this bishop check. And now the king is just miraculously on g8. Mate is about to be threatened, and black is quite frankly could be in a lot of trouble. Even though they're up 6 points of material, this could be a very, very, very tricky position for black to play. Now, Stockfish recommends rook e2 or rook e3. It is not like rook e3 for some very Stockfish reasons. I looked into the line, it's ridiculous. And then Trump plays rook e3 and immediately a blunder, queen b4 check. Now hold your horses, this is a Stockfish blunder. It's absurd, tons of brilliant attacking moves, but essentially you need to start the line with c3. I'm not going into this, it's ridiculous, but instead, king d1, and this is just an obvious really bad mistake, check, and then you're losing the knight, and it's basically GG now. But Mr. Napoleon says, I don't want to go for the winning check, and goes for the much worse check. Just kidding. But yeah, this check is really, really bad because now after knight e2, there is literally no way to stop this. So f5 best move, rook g3, and now white has a very nice advantage. But that does not happen because Trump plays a mega brilliant Hikaru move, bishop e2. This is setting up a very important threat, but in the meantime, it's hanging the knight. King d2 on the board, followed by f5, and black is basically unstoppable, and this game is over for Trump. He should just resign. But as we know very well, Trump does not like resigning, so he plays bishop h5 and queen f2 check. And keep in mind, Mr. Trump is very cooked. After rook e2, the queen's got to move. And where do you think the queen moves? Think about it. Well, the queen moves, and it's GG.